Hey guys, Jeff with Dirt Wheels Magazine, still out at the Sandsport Super Show, and right now we are talking to Steve with UTV Shocks. Steve, tell us a little bit about your UTV product that you have right here behind you.
All right, will do. So we're just kind of wrapping up this 3-year project on developing UTV dampers from the ground up, and we decided to do something different using some technology that we use for truck shocks, and it's position sensitive without using internal bypass. So that means the piston is just as large as the body for the whole length of the tube, so you don't have any issues with trapping heat inside that body, any failures caused by that. So what we have is a system we call zone control, which is a 2-stage compression bump stop built into the body. So you don't need one internally, and that bump stop is externally adjustable with a knob right here. These are also adjustable for compression, high and low speed, and then wideband rebound adjustable down in the bottom of the shock. So these have been on sale only for a couple of months now for Can-Am, and just about to roll out for Polaris Pro R, Turbo R, XP 1000, and Turbo S. So after that, we'll have some more UTV sports to add applications for, but that'll be mostly where we go for right now. So they were built from the ground up, specifically thinking of racing. So everything is built to withstand running it at a minimum or a maximum of 300 degrees Fahrenheit. We tested them in Plaster City in the last summer, and we ran them until we were no longer breaking or burning anything in the shock. We were just breaking the rest of the car. So we figured at that point the shocks were ready to go. So
for our readers that are not familiar with Plaster City in California, the West Coast, it's a lot of big bumps. Yeah, and they're not evenly spaced either. They're really unusual and weird. So you don't get a rhythm going very well. Yeah. So. Well, you do have a desert car here.
We do. We have a few of them, but we have a sponsored racer by the name of Doug Mittag, who was one of our short course racers that's branched out into desert, and he raced King of the Hammers this year, getting second place in the UTV desert race, first physically, second on time, and his car's over here.
Yeah, let's go take a look.
So Doug's car is a Polaris Pro R chassis, but we used Can-Am Maverick shocks on it initially, but used this car during the development of the Pro R shocks as well. So again, he raced King of the Hammers, and then the Mint, and then a couple of DP4 races, and then the Baja 500. So this car and these shocks already have a pretty good racing pedigree after less than a year.
Now you can tell with the shock reservoirs here, they are obviously they're definitely not stock shocks on this car. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, the whole shock is made out of aluminum, and everything is Type 3 hard anodized, including that fluted reservoir. So we wanted to make sure there was sufficient cooling for racing.
And, what other races, or what are your plans for this car going forward?
We have to figure that out right now. We don't have the schedule for next year yet. Probably Barstow 300 is next, more than likely.
Now, all of our readers, whether they're riding an ATV or driving a UTV, they need truck shocks too, and you've got them taken care of.
Yeah, we have a very wide selection of truck shocks. This side of the board is mostly racing shocks. So these are the coilovers that we build, as well as external bypass for racing. We actually build coilovers in a recreational format and a racing format. So different internal components, different oil, different hose for racing. So on the other side, we have our full line of light truck products. So the yellow and blue is our 4600 line. So that fits anything. If you don't intend to lift your truck at all, this is a direct replacement shock for that.
That's good for even a half-ton to a 1-ton truck?
Right, exactly. In fact, we sell more for 1 ton than anything else. So next up is our 5100 ride height adjustable. So this would be a 1/2 ton where it's a coilover. And in this case, we have grooves for the circlip, so you can adjust it depending on application, typically from 0 to almost 3 inches of lift. We also build the 5100 in a straight body without the coil, in case it's like an F250, F350, where the coil is separate from the shock. Next up from 5100 is 5160, where it's remote reservoir. And then we go to 6112, where it's now 2.65 inch diameter, so just a big bore, big piston, a lot of oil shock. And that's a front for either Toyota or a lot of 1/2 tons fit that. Great bargain, about $900 for the front for the set. And then all the way up on our line for light trucks is 8112. That's using the same technology as a UTV shock, where it's position sensitive with that internal bump stop on both ends. We do upper control arms, and then this is an external bypass direct fit. I believe this is for a Toyota Tacoma, but we typically pair the 8112 with an 8100 external bypass in the rear. So that way you get essentially racing technology, and then with the knurled aluminum knobs, it becomes very easy to make adjustments. So if you change the load on your truck, you can just jump under there and make quick changes on it.
So if somebody wants to get Bilstein shocks for their truck, can they contact you directly, or you have retailers that sell the shocks?
We sell through retailers for most product, except for the very high-end racing product, where we typically work directly with racers. Yeah, BilsteinUS.com.
Nick, tell us, Cardo has a new product out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the new product here is going to be the Pack Talk Edge Phones off-road vehicle, or ORV as we say at Cardo. It's going to be an all-encompassing unit that comes with the headphones and the Pack Talk Edge ORV. So if you're not familiar with that, that's actually this product that we released here last year. So the Pack Talk Edge ORV is going to be a full Bluetooth communicator, can add up to 15 people. It's completely wireless and no push to talk at all. Bluetooth 5.2, IP67 waterproof, sandproof, dustproof, all of the good stuff here, and sound by JBL. So we're actually bringing this, we have 2 different options, so you can set it up as the in-helmet or as a headphone option, and you actually have the versatility to move it from your helmet over to the headphones here. So that's how that attaches there. That's our air mount right there.
Yeah, and that is the same communicator for both.
Exact same communicator.
Yeah. Say a Pack Talk Edge, you can use that along with your new headphone set.
That's exactly right. So if you already own the one for in-helmet, you're riding here in California, or you need some type of helmetless application, then you could just buy this as an accessory. So we'll sell this for $149, and we'll sell these for $489 retail if you want the one with the communicator in the kit.
Now, we all know about freezing with helmets, dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs. There are other uses for this type of product. Why don't you go over some of that?
Absolutely. So tons of use cases. We work with a variety of trainers and tour guides. So whether you're going from within the car or car to car, coaching. So we just released a video with Pastrana. He's coaching from the side of the track. The riders that got their helmets on, they're communicating with each other and the coach. So a variety of different options. I mow my lawn with it. But the coolest thing is really ultimately the versatility. So to be able to move it from my full face helmet to my 3/4 helmet, over to my headphones, to my dirt bike helmet. If I sell my vehicle, it doesn't go with it. It's not installed anywhere, right? So I think just the versatility, the audio quality, no wires, no push to talk. It's just a great way to share the experience. That's actually one of the biggest differentiators, I think, from the push to talk style communicators, is they're more like a status update. So it's more like, hey, I'm broken, where this is more like, hey, look at that, and sharing the experience, whether it's just within your car or the guy right over there. So it's including everybody. So that's what I like about it.
Where can our readers find this product for purchase?
Yeah, so you can find it anywhere from our website, cardosystems.com, to any of your normal power sports outlets. So we're going to be on Western Power Sports dealers, so any of your normal power sports dealerships, Super ATV dealers. The one that's in helmet is sold by Polaris, so any PG&A Polaris dealer would have that available. RockyMountainATV.com, so pretty much any of your power sports outlets.
All right, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you. So you get a nice package here, carrying case, unzip that, open that up. So there's going to be your Pack Talk Edge ORV. You'll take that out. We'll remove this blister here. Edge phone's going to pop out. Pop this on. And then here's your mic. You're going to align yellow to yellow. Just pop that in right there.
And what's the purpose of the yellow to yellow?
Just to know where you line it up, so where you know.
That puts the mouthpiece right in front of the mouth.
Yep. Yeah, because this is actually another interesting thing. If you want to check that out, there's another yellow marker there. Very important. This is a directional mic, right? So you want to make sure the yellow is facing your mouth whenever you're talking, because this side is going to be the side that they're canceling out all that wind noise and everything like that. So very important. If this was twisted around, right, it's not going to work so good. So make sure you got your directional mic facing, yellow arrow facing your mouth.
And that's a very tight fit. It's not going to fall out of the ear there either.
It's very tight once you got it in there. So yeah, you got to give it a little bit of mustard, but then yeah, it's real tight. So align those, but yeah. And then a secure fit, but pull it back out. You can toss that back in, fold these back up. Boom, just like that.
Right now, we're going to take a look at something from Gambit Off-Road, and this is a tool that you should all be carrying in your tool packs when you're out on those remote UTV rides. This is something that will get you back to camp in case you bust a bolt. Take a look at this. Troy,
How's it going?
tell us about your product here.
So this is the Gambit Emergency Axle Replacement. So what it does is if you break a CV joint out on the trail, anywhere, dunes, trail, desert, rock crawling, doesn't matter, you pull that broken axle out, you're basically not supposed to drive with a broken axle because it can mess up your transaxle or your front diff. This acts in place of the outer joint. What's cool about it is that it's universal. It fits Can-Ams and Polarises, and if you look right here, basically what it does is it replaces your outer joint. So this is a Turbo S hub and knuckle. It holds your hub and knuckle together. So we designed it to where it fits into the hub and presses against the inner race of the bearing and holds everything together. You just put it in like that, zip it down, and you can go down the trail, get back to camp. Instead of 5 miles an hour, which you would if you had a broken axle, you can go at speed with this. It fits on any corner, front or back. Another thing that can occur is if you blow a front diff, as you see that diff there, you can remove both front axles, put 2 of these in place, and drive in 2-wheel drive just like nothing happened. So we launched it about 6 weeks ago. It retails for $179. You can check it out on www.gambitoffroad.com.
How's everyone doing out here in the Costa Mesa Sandsports? You know, good turnout as always. You know, come see us for all your lighting needs. You know, basically right now we're doing show specials on all the kits. You know, the beauty of our kits is, you know, whether you got Can-Am, you got a Turbo R, Pro R, anything you got, we got you covered. One stop. You get your harness, you get your brackets, you get your light, top-notch lights, lifetime warranty on everything. You know, we got chase bars, we got our mirror lights going off, we got mirrors specials for the universal mount, window mount, custom cage. We're doing Polaris Rangers, Can-Am Defenders. We just have our ProForm mount that we just finalized out, so that's ready. You know, we're blowing out some bumpers. I know you guys with the Pro R and Turbo Rs, you get these little weak bumpers on them. We're doing bumper kits. You know, so it comes with the bumper, comes with the lights, everything to get you done up and get you set up and ready for that dune season.
Let's check out some of the chase lights over here.
Oh, we got our chase lights here. We do have our safety lights. All of these are race approved. You know, so you can see the colors on them. They're race approved for Best in the Desert and Legacy. You know, that way you don't get ran over by some trophy truck. We got our 36-inch and we got our 30-inch, you know, all programmable, all tunable, all have turn signals, brake lights, all that good stuff. You know,
What are some of your most popular products?
our most popular products definitely are going to be, you know, our light bar kits. You know, so this is an example of some of our Can-Am kits. You know, we got our Race Series, which is running a 15-watt Cree LED. And we have our Mini Race Series, which is running a 5-watt. And then what we've done is, like I said, with the kits, we've simplified it all. So you have your shock mount kits down here. You know, all these things are functional displays, so you can blind yourself and, you know, make sure everything works. And then also, for those of you that don't want to do a light bar, we have our pods. You know, so these guys, we redeveloped our LEDs on there, so they're 80 watts, 9,500 lumens, fully gasket sealed, fully interchangeable. You can change the lenses, you can spin it any way you want. They are symmetrical, so if you got to mount it upside down or anything like that, we can get it going. And again, everything with the All Terrain Concepts brand is guaranteed with that lifetime warranty.
We got a lot of readers that are new to UTVs that wouldn't know what's the advantage of having an amber lens on some of your lighting.
So when people ask me what's the advantage of having the amber lighting, the best way I can describe it is, you always ask them, did you ever ski or snowboard? Because you always have to have, you know, you very rarely had a clear goggle. You always had a rose goggle or an amber goggle. And what it does is, it's the same thing as don't turn your brights on into the fog. You know, the amber is going to actually bring out the terrain. It's going to allow you to see those shadows, you know, so you can see when those bumps are coming up, as well as when you're in the dust and stuff, you're not going to get that flashback. Just like turning your brights on in the fog, they tell you not to do it because the light's going to flash back at you. Amber is going to do the same thing. It's going to stop there. It's not going to flash back at you. It's going to bring out the terrain. It's going to allow you to see those bumps in front of you. You know, especially, yep. When you're not, if you're not leading, you're following, and at that point you're in some type of dust or anything. And you know, the amber, whether it be on a light bar or on a pod, it allows it to, you know, everyone says it cuts through the dust, but no, it basically it doesn't give you that flashback, and it allows you to see the terrain in front of you, which is important because you don't want to be surprised by any sort of G-out or ditch or anything like that. You know, so it allows you to see those with the shadows through the amber tint.
Give our readers some contact information. How can they purchase your product?
You can call us at 877-231-1859. Of course, we're available online at allterrainconcepts.com, on Instagram at All Terrain Concepts, Facebook All Terrain Concepts, and I think that's about it. We might have a YouTube channel. I think we might have a YouTube channel as well, but you know, all the basic forms, All Terrain Concepts, and we're there.
Yeah, so thanks so much for, you know, all the support so far this year. Again, my name is Bruce, and we're out here at the Sandsport Super Show at the OBoard Tires booth. Right here, this is kind of our newest, latest and greatest tire. It is called the Tricera. It is a 32 10-15, really good for hard pack, desert style terrain and riding.
Is that a popular tire for desert racers?
It is, yeah. So one of our popular racers, Mike Caffro, does a lot of the Score, the 500. He's in the 400 right now this weekend. Same with the Mint 400 in those style of races. This is something that he's been leaning towards.
Mike's been racing desert for a long time. If he likes this tire, it must be good.
It has been. It has been. He's been good for us. And then over here, so this is our rock crawling tire. We have it currently in a 32 10-15 and then a 35 10-15. Definitely been one of our, you know, most popular tires probably in the last 12 months. Something cool we have coming out is at UTV Takeover here in about a month, we'll be releasing our 37 10-15. So that will be something, you know, that's really going to get the big rock crawling guys, you know, happy about.
For terrain like Moab, what is that? Pretty, I imagine it has pretty strong sidewall protection.
It does, yeah. So it's an 8-ply tire. Anything Moab, southern Utah. We even done a lot of testing on the East Coast as well. So when you look at places like Tennessee and Kentucky and West Virginia, all of that we've been able to cover.
Yeah, Windrock.
And Windrock, yeah. Windrock has a lot of good stuff there.
All right, and you got one more down.
And then so down here, so over here, this is a tire that we call the Lynx. And so this is a 35 10-15. We have it in a couple other sizes, 28, 30, 32, 35. This is obviously more of a all-terrain, a little more open tread pattern, so it can get you, you know, in and out of some of the mud, the loose dirt, But also we've done a lot of testing on hard pack and, you know, in those areas as well.
A little more aggressive tread.
A little more aggressive. Something that's a little unique about it is that all the sizes below a 32, it's an 8-ply tire, but we did make the 35 into a 10-ply tire. So adds a little bit more of the durability aspect, you know, longer, you know, tread life and all that kind of comes with it.
Brent with Sandcraft.
What's up, buddy?
Let's take a look at these tires.
Yeah. So let's go with the front. So this is a new patented design. It's the diamond pattern. So it helps you track in the rough and eliminates the wander that you typically experience out at the dunes. And it also helps improve in four-wheel drive engagement properties. So as you are in four-wheel drive, you do notice a difference in traction.
So like if you have them in four-wheel drive, you're going through the dunes, the momentum will actually pull you forward. You're not going to be sliding down into the bowl.
Yes, exactly. Not only pulling you forward, but also tracking you forward as well, right? And so that's what's so important about the features that make the diamond the diamond.
Very cool.
Next up is going to be our rear paddle tires. These are a fresh release as well. We have two different types of paddles. We have a Slayer, which is for the more aggressive type of bite. And then we also have the Slider, which is down below. And the Slider helps that natural dune feeling in terms of drifting and you know playing around in the dunes and going sideways and stuff. So
obviously these tires are made very lightweight.
Yeah.
Good for naturally aspirated cars on top,
Yeah, absolutely.
Turbos, great.
Yeah, so what's great about the Buff tire is it is the lightweight tire, and the lighter the tire, the more performance that you get out of the vehicles. We leave our sidewall alone. This is where the majority of the stress is from out here to here, and so it's important to kind of keep all of that material there. And so moving on to also the lightweight tire and the many different types of vehicles like you were explaining, we can customize the tire to your specific needs, whether it's a 100 horsepower car or a 400 horsepower car. That would dictate how many paddles you have and the type of paddles that we would offer you.
So yeah, any brand, any model?
Any brand, any model, we can cover them all, yes sir. This is our steering rack stabilizer for our Pro R. We're pretty happy to be able to finally release this. The way that this works is truly amazing. It not only does it stiffen the chassis in the weakest part of the chassis in the suspension location, it also intercepts the steering rack, which would typically go right here in the center. And then it comes with the outer tie rod portion, and so it would also reuse the OEM outer tie rod. So what this does is this creates a dual parallel system, and it eliminates all of the load on the rack going this way and that way. As the suspension travels up and down, you get this constant load of going forward, backwards, up and down. So this isolates all of that from happening.
Just completely eliminates any reaction to the steering wheel?
So the feedback from the steering wheel is going to be actually dictated by what the wheel's seeing, but in terms of the decreasing the overall bump steer of the suspension geometry, yes, it does that, and it also stabilizes the car in terms of just making it more predictable on turning. This is also another great release for the Pro R, the lower ball joint. I've seen more of these failures than any other component on this car since it's been released. What makes ours extremely unique is the fact that it encapsulates the spindle, and then you have straight shank, about a 1/4 inch of straight shank sticking out past the spindle. So what we have is our nut that is a taper match nut. So it goes over the whole thing, and so it's not where the threads end and the shoulder begins is the weakest link anymore.
Also has a Zerk fitting for easier maintenance.
It is greasable and adjustable, absolutely. And last but not least, the limit strap kit for the Pro R. So this is an awesome design. It utilizes the OEM hardware. It has a nut that would thread into this, and the tab actually threads onto the nut. So this allows for tight clearance areas, which you'll experience on the top side of the vehicle. And best of all, it's a 4 quad layer quad sewn limit strap, and that's going to prevent all of that stress from going onto the shock shaft internally, which usually will promote premature shock wear, leaking of the seal and things of that. It also helps save the CVs. That's a huge gain. These rear CVs are obviously going to see all of the load as you're on the throttle, and so when they're at maximum capacity, the friction rate inside the CV is so great it will cause the boots to swell up and pop, and so the limit straps help prevent a lot of that from happening. So as simple as it looks, it's really doing layers of protection at the same time.
It makes it easier on your fasteners too with the shock. I mean, just people don't realize how much weight is dropping off when the car comes off the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that's awesome about this is now you don't need to pull the shocks off the car to put the limit strap on or pull the shock out. It's super easy. You literally just take the nut off, thread this on, and that's as easy as the install is.
We are still at Sandsport Super Show. Right now we are at Bronco ATV and UTV Performance, talking with Bo, who's going to run over some of these more value or stock replacement type parts.
Yep.
Take it away, Bo.
So we have our Bronco shock right here. This is a gas-filled shock. Comes standard with a 10% stiffer spring and an infinite preload adjustment. It's a really good economical upgrade to your machine. Along with that, we have one of our winch lines here. This is our 6,000 pound winch. We have winches ranging from 1,500 all the way to 6,000 pound, wired and wireless controls.
That'll cover any ATV or UTV.
Oh yeah, even the big ones, yep. Other than that, we have brakes, wearable parts, anything to get your machine back on the road.
So, and these are at competitive prices, say to Yamaha, you know, any of the major brands?
Yes, that's...
And these are built for stock replacement type parts?
Stock replacement parts at a economical price point.
Very cool. And it's not only this either. You have, how many SKUs would you say has more parts?
I would say 4,000 to 5,000 right now. Yeah, it's a lot of part numbers.
Well, where can people find that online?
Visit BroncoATV.com for more information.